Welcome, everybody, here to the Sports Talk Network channel. And specifically, here's the Monday Night Raw review here for tonight, August 14, 2017. This Monday Night Raw that just finished a couple minutes ago with the Fatal 4-Way participants on the Universal Championship match for WWE SummerSlam, which I assume will be probably to be the main event of SummerSlam on Sunday. For those that are watching for the first time, thank you. Thanks to Blue X Demon X on YouTube for the shout out and promoting himself to be on my podcast on Thursday, Steve's Wrestling Ramble, which these Monday night and Tuesday night reviews are connected to, associated with Steve's Wrestling Ramble on the same very channel. But Thursday, the coup de grace of episodes this week. And so far of the calendar year, SummerSlam prediction episode, Blue X Demon X, along with OTRS Central, Bite That Cast, Wrestling Podcast, and also Mounty's Corner. And others hopefully will be joining me. Raunchy Mikey, who formerly used to talk about wrestling on his channel here on YouTube, now going into gaming as a gamer. Trying to think of others. Sledgehammer TV might be here, Wrestling Podcast host. So those are the ones. Hopefully, they all will be able to join in along with others. And my team, Mark Rambo of Mark Rambo TV, Kyron Chase of Kyron Chase Network, that talks many things on his channel, and others abound. Hopefully, I hope to see your I was gonna say smiling faces, but awesome people in the live chat, interacting, giving your predictions of SummerSlam as we go through the card. Actually, right now I'm gonna go on my Twitter. Yes, I maybe should have done this before, but I was watching Raw. So, anyways, and prepping for the show. But I'm going to go right here, reply in our big group that we have chatting. We have 50 strong in the Twitter interaction. Again, follow me on Twitter at WWE _podcast. And that is WWE _podcast. So those that are watching for the first time, thank you, like I said. But also I wanted to share that I'm not on camera yet. I've been off camera for a while for reasons, and I'll be making my grandiose re-debut. I'll be on camera on Thursday night for the prediction episode. Now, I know it's not that special for those that have watched, or even people that just subscribed to my channel today can go back to old videos and see me on camera. Plus, my avatar, it shows my face. So it's not that big of a thing, but to me, it kind of is, because it's been like a month or 2 months, actually, I think, since I've been on camera last for any video, let alone my Steve Wrestling Ramble podcast. My NFL podcast does debut for the 2017 NFL season on August 31st, Talking Package with Steve, where I do talk about all 32 there. But anyways, I'm going to be tweeting here my Twitter handle at WWE_podcast poll of Monday Night Raw, and by the end of this show, whether it's a short show or long show here with the review, I will give the results for that and to that. But let me check here also the people that are watching live. Hopefully the chat is working. Sometimes it doesn't, and I don't want it to not work on Thursday night when I'm going to have a plethora of people, cornucopia, whatever word you want to use, whatever big word you want to use, for Thursday night of people watching live from the other channels, the fans of Blue X Demon X, OTRS Central, Bite That Cast Wrestling Podcast, the Sledgehammer TV, Mounty's Corner, and others that hopefully have as well. Maybe even having Jay Thomas on the show, Michael Andrews, Broken Empire, and others might even be able to join either on the show or in the live chat that night. And I said those names because I see they are all here in the live chat along with DDTV. So thank you guys for being there. Welcome to interact. Keep interacting as we talk about Monday Night Raw. Welcome to give the video a like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, and this and that, as people can do. And Broken Empire already saying he can't wait to see his boy Mounty on the podcast. I'm looking forward to having him as well. We're going to be collabing moving forward beyond just the SummerSlam podcast or prediction episode podcast there. He'll also be featured guest for the SummerSlam review, quick review after the show ends. So right after SummerSlam ends there on Sunday, after 6 hours of craziness and awesomeness, I'm sure, and title changes and whatever else happens, I'll be doing my review there. But what did you all think of Monday Night Raw? You think it was good? Think it bad? As I see in the comment one, Logan Power saying it was pretty good Raw. I thought it was pretty good Raw. I thought it did what it was supposed to do as a go-home show, especially the SummerSlam. I know some might say it could have been better, sure, but hey, things are. Jay Thomas asking how can I get onto the podcast or onto the Hangouts? Well, I would send you the link and you would join that way, quick and easy. So maybe you're welcome to join on Thursday if you want, and that'd be great. Or do you want to join now? It'd be nice to have a female on the show on Thursday. So if anybody else knows any other females that might also talk wrestling, otherwise, send them my way. Or on Twitter, my way. I apologize here for a couple of silence, but I'm going to type up my poll here, my Raw Insta poll, of how people thought of Raw. Because I just thought that Raw, being a go-home show, being what I was supposed to be building up to, specifically Raw brand or matches for SummerSlam, did pretty dang well. And with a title change happening tonight as well, that certainly was interesting, to say the least. Plus, you have Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins back together. All of that and more for Raw tonight. Definitely been doing well. And these are the Raws that we want to see. But again, we only see them when it's coming up to big pay-per-view events like SummerSlam, like probably Survivor Series and other big four events. Or as I add Money in the Bank in there, which would make it a big five of shows of WWE. Well, give me a couple of seconds here, Jamie. I will then send it your way, as now I have to sign into Facebook here to send it to you, because obviously I can't send it in the chat. Unless anybody else wants to join us in the chat to talk here on Raw. I guess I can do this once. Because we do have awesome people here in the chat, so if they want to share what they thought of Raw on the Hangout, more the merrier, right? It makes it more entertaining. Plus, I like to interact with people, so might as well interact with them live and in person, whether they're on camera or not. That's their prerogative, but I'm that type of YouTuber, just for those that are watching for the first time. I always like to interact, reply to everybody's comments on the video, after it goes on the channel, of course, and all this. Well, Thomas, it's only me right now, but I'm just saying if I share the link to the Hangout in the live chat, that means anybody in the live chat that wants to be on camera or on the show is welcome to then join. So who's all on right now? Just me, myself, and I. But there, I shared it there. So Jamie, others, welcome to jump on, chime in, and I'm going to go from there, because more the merrier. More the merrier on anything, Raw reviews, podcast shows. But Thursday is when you're not going to want to miss. Because that one, we're going to have great guests, and we're going to be talking probably for 2 hours, maybe even more, about SummerSlam, predicting the show. I'm sure we'll be rambling about other things that might not even have to do with wrestling. Maybe someone will have me bring up, I don't know, childhood memories or TV shows or other random stuff. But either way, it's certainly going to be fun-filled when we get to Thursday night, talking SummerSlam, predicting the show, because we have 6 hours of WWE content. Certainly believe it's going to be spot on with all the matches, let alone the main event, which, like I said, probably will be the Universal Championship match, Fatal 4-Way from there. I see Jay Thomas is here. Hopefully everything's working. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
So I'm actually liking the Brock and Braun thing that they have going on now.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I was thought you were expanding. Like, what did you think of the whole show entirely for the go home for SummerSlam?
Well, I think they should have let them go. They should have let them fight instead of them holding them back.
Mm-hmm.
It's just stupid. Everybody wants to see it, but obviously, and I think they should have let Finn Balor be the demon in SummerSlam instead of letting everybody know what's going to happen at SummerSlam.
Right, may have it more of a surprise than promoting it to be. Yeah.
Yep.
And as well, what were you think of the Ambrose and Seth Rollins?
I actually didn't watch that, but I was kind of thinking they were going to do that at SummerSlam instead of on Raw because it would make a lot more sense to do it on SummerSlam than do it on Raw because it's a bigger show and there's not nothing really they can follow, you know?
well, what could follow is them winning the tag team titles, have a run with it, and maybe then one of them turning on the others. Some say more so in the end of Dean Ambrose being the one to turn on Seth, going heel. Seth's done the whole turning on Dean thing, of course, from 3 years ago or whatever years ago, from the actual Shield. And even though they're together as technically 2/3 of the Shield and as a tag team heading into SummerSlam to face Sheamus and Cesaro for the Raw Tag Team Championships, doesn't technically mean, obviously, that the Shield is back. It's just those two are back together for this time only, this run only. And I think whenever the Shield truly reunites and truly are back together with Roman Reigns together, even though I've already been hearing on Twitter of people thinking that's going to happen at SummerSlam, Dean Seth winning Raw Tag Team titles, Roman Reigns winning the Universal, and them coming together as a Shield. That I don't see that happening. I would love that as a big Shield mark and fan, obviously, but realistically, I don't see that happening. But point being is I don't think that to be happening until WrestleMania at the earliest. WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans, which I humbly hope to be there in person to see. But I think that being the earliest for that to happen. So this happening now and having Dean and Seth together is great and awesome. But in no means is going to be meaning that the Shield's going to be reuniting or together as the trio, as the three, anytime soon. Let alone who knows at all. But if anything, I think if we get to WrestleMania season and WrestleMania thing self, that may be when we have the Shield truly and actually back together at that point. But as of right now, it's nice to see Dean and Seth, but I see Roman, bring it all together until we get to WrestleMania. Like I would love it, yes, but I don't think that to be the case.
Well, they need to intertwine that whole storyline because they haven't started anything yet. But as much as I would like that to happen, like you said, I don't see that happening, but it would be a good thing. But who would be a good opponent for the Shield though at this point? There isn't anybody very, credible to go against them.
Right, and even not even as full Shield. See, that's the interesting thing is I obviously was, rambling about, that they're not technically the Shield is together with Ambrose and Rollins. Yes, you could say that they are and be that brotherhood coming back and whatever, but even just simply as Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins together, not as the Shield, as them having their individual music as they enter together, which I'm sure is going to happen at SummerSlam because you don't want us crazy fans, hearing the Shield music for them to come out to them as a tag team, get out of my mind thinking that way. So that being the case, even with that just being how it is right now, heading into SummerSlam with those two, I agree with you that there isn't He went to actual credible tag teams that are there. What would be interesting is if the Miz Taraj, Bo Dallas, and Curtis Axel actually jump in the tag team division. WWE actually put them in there. And them actually, to me, would actually be credible in the way of, you have Curtis Axel and his lineage, Bo Dallas, and his, real family lineage and everything in itself, and that stuff against Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, their own Shield lineage. Now, I understand how most might think, no, that wouldn't be equal because of how great the Shield was and what Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel pretty much have been for a couple of years now, or been most of their careers jobbers, even though Curtis Axel did actually win the WWE Intercontinental Championship like his father did before him in the past during his career, but he actually was getting a small push at that time. So, hey, you bring Jinder Mahal out of nowhere, like an RKO out of nowhere, to become WWE champion, get this push. He's doing very well. I hope he retains at SummerSlam. I'll talk about that tomorrow night with the SmackDown Live review. But maybe you have the Miz Taraj tag team, you have them in the tag team division, build them up, and long story short, have them actually credible, and them becoming a viable threat to Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, where you and others would actually want to see that match at a pay-per-view event, and not be rolling your eyes at that happening, unless WWE fucks it up and not having a good build to it. But that's in its own right, and we'll cross that bridge if we ever do get to that. But I think that would actually be a pretty good feud if, again, like I said, they book the Miz Taraj, Bo Dallas, and Curtis Axel correctly if put in that position.
Well, I'm looking at the live chat, and Michael Andrews says if Finn turns heel, he will be too good for the company to want to make him face again. In that case, he's too good for the company. They're not putting him where he needs to be. What about putting him in the championship contention again? Right now they're kind of messing around with him with Bray Wyatt. I mean, it's okay, but I think they need to put him back up there in the contention again.
Oh, I'm sure they will. Like everything, and with any fan favorite or any superstar in general, is me with Dean Ambrose in the past. And, I make no bones about me even bringing this up about Dean, how I wanted him back in the picture for championships. But realistically, you have this logjam. You have people in the upper middle card, as I call it, upper middle card. They're just to be either part of the main event or be in the title scene. I guess maybe not main eventers, but just kind of scene. Point being is, for Finn Balor right now, WWE just doesn't, long-term planning, doesn't know exactly, at least from my viewpoint, know exactly what to do with him. So they're putting him with Bray Wyatt, a former WWE champion. Then again, everybody knows my opinion on Bray, where his promos have become lackluster and boring to me, but I still see where others are big fans of his, and he has his fan base, as every superstar does. My co-host on SmackDown Live reviews, Katrina, on Twitter at Katrina the Good, has heard with Sami Zayn, with Finn Balor in respect to him, and if he goes heel, I think for now he's going to be same face, even if he does the Demon Balor thing, which is and should be only used for special occasions, as SummerSlam for sure being one of those. But I think he's going to do pretty well as a face continually. And if they do put him in the Universal title picture, remember him being the inaugural WWE Universal Champion. So the question is not to me of will he ever get back in the title hunt. The question is, when will WWE feel it's best to finally put him back in that title hunt? And maybe the thing of waiting is the same thing as I was saying about Charlotte Flair in the SmackDown Live women's division, is that, yeah, there's going to be a point. There's going to be a point here sometime soon Charlotte's going to win that championship, but they want to hold on to either A, a bigger show and event for her to have that moment, or B, when it makes the most sense to have her win the title, then to just throw her in there because she's Charlotte Flair and have her win the championship because WWE can just do that. You know what I mean? Like to actually have it making sense to most of WWE Universe. So in Finn Balor case, I think that might be the same thing, at least in my opinion, that just by the time I'm waiting and him being in these feuds and whatever other feud is after Bray Wyatt before him in the championship race or there and a championship feud with the champion, whoever that to be, after WWE SummerSlam on the Raw brand, to have his fan base specifically give their opinion, let's just say that way instead of the other way, on why he's not in the picture and he should be, and this is wrong with this and that. And then when the moment finally comes and they see that, we're getting to a point where Finn Balor is going to be in the Universal title picture, going to be fighting the champion at said pay-per-view, whatever pay-per-view that to be, then at that point, the WWE was actually having an actual long-term plan, being the company that I believe it can be in that way of booking, then for Finn Balor fans can believe. And at that point, maybe he will be here. Who knows? Because who knows how long it'll be until he is in that picture. But for now, we have the 4 true monsters among men, not just Braun Strowman, but all 4 of them beasts in the main event for the Universal title. So Finn Balor, this is not the time for him. So have him facing off Bray. Bray got the W tonight. Finn probably going to get the W on Sunday in a pretty good match. I don't see the squash match, but a pretty good, long, decent match with the Demon Balor against Bray Wyatt. And then in time, maybe early 2018, like 21, ever it to be, Balor then will be in the championship race.
Another thing is I can see the way WWE is going with their storylines. I can see them kind of copying other storylines. I can see Finn Balor maybe joining Bray Wyatt, considering that now Finn Balor is the demon now and Bray Wyatt is starting to do his thing. I can see them becoming a tag team somehow.
I can see what people think that, especially with the characters that they are too. I mean, we just think of it basically as that with Demon Balor and Bray Wyatt. The only reason I have an issue with that in that retrospect, that singularity, focus on it, is because the Demon Balor is only special. It only comes out once in a while at special pay-per-views. So if it's not going to be for all the other quote-unquote B-level WWE pay-per-view events, then if that's the only reason you're going to put them together because of those characters, then it's not really going to fit because you're still going to get Club Balor for most of the shows and you only get Demon Balor's special events or special pay-per-views. So the idea of having Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt together is nice. You then would have to have the Demon King and Demon Balor more often than not.
Now, I want to say something that I see in the live chat, which I obviously agree with. Mm-hmm. Michael Andrews said Nia Jax just needs a night of complete destruction on the women's division in the ring and backstage to gain credibility. She is not getting the chance that she needs. It's she needs to be in the championship match, nothing more, or nothing less. Mm-hmm. No putting her against other people and then she loses. She needs to be given that chance. She needs to win. It's ridiculous. Honestly, to me, it is. It's ridiculous. She needs to have that chance.
Well, great minds think alike, because I was thinking the exact same thing, and I don't know if you were here last week for my Raw review and how I start off my little rant about Sasha Banks and her being in that match. That was tonight, and then she ended up winning. But being in that match and how I was worried that Nia Jax wasn't going to win, how I wanted her to, and this and that, because I believe and agree with you and agree in a way with Michael Andrews in his comment of Nia Jax. It should have been what was the original plan. The original plan, from what I was reading and hearing, was of Nia Jax to face Alexa Bliss one-on-one for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. And then plans changed. Then they decided to go with Bayley. Bayley gets legitimately actually injured. And now throwing this together, throwing it to the wall and not having the two triple threat matches and the 1-1 tonight and having Sasha Banks win. I get it. And as I said last week, I think Sasha Banks is somewhat being like the John Cena in the women's division. And I still stick to that, in my opinion. Strong opinion there. But as I thought about it after she won and everything, as it dawned on me as like, okay, I think the reason they're going with this is because they, with any match, as they should, have that suspension of disbelief for one of the match and of actually Alexa not retaining, right? Because most are thinking, and I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but from my vantage point, I think whoever she was going to face, Alexa Bliss was going to retain at SummerSlam, and it would be more, for whatever reason, people assuming and predicting that Alexa Bliss would win if it was Nia Jax than it to be Sasha Banks because of Sasha Banks' credibility and this and that and how great she is. And I'm not saying she's not. I'm just saying that there's other women that deserve opportunity. There's other women that should get the chance and who should be foremost in front of that, Nia Jax. Nia Jax, to me, has proven since she's been in WWE, let alone on the main roster, that if WWE books her character right, again, this is all about how WWE books and gives these superstars the opportunity to show and shine, that Nia Jax should be the champion. And not only just be the champion, when she wins it, especially now with her losing to Sasha and all these other losses and this and that, when she does finally get her one-on-one or in whatever type of match it is, point being, when that time comes and she's in a championship match, I don't want her just to win. I want her to, like Rusev Crush, and just annihilate them all and win in a squash match. And I'd be fine with that. I know others might give their strong opinion on if that to happen in that way and whoever the champion is at that time and who she beat and whatever the situation is at that said pay-per-view. But I think that's how now, not just from what Michael and you were saying about her getting her credibility back, I think when she does get in the championship match, whenever that first time is, you have her win the title like that, like a Brock Lesnar squash match, just kicking butt, taking names, and just winning the championship and just being dominant and then becoming the champion. I think that's, especially from now, moving forward, should be how they build Nia Jax. And also from I see from the chat, Michael Andrews talking about when Bayley returns, she should do it like Kane and Bayley to belly everyone in sight, including officials. Then Sasha tries to calm her down, but gets suplexed as well. Then Bayley yells, "She's back." Well, that certainly would be interesting. But anyways, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think everybody's waiting for Bayley to turn heel. I think it's coming real soon. It's just not that time yet, because you can tell she's the lovable, huggable, quote unquote, everybody loves. So I think WWE needs to change it around a bit and make her heel. And I want to take it back to Nia Jax. If you remember Karma was pretty much a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Nia Jax, the way they brought her in, but they're not, like I said, they're not playing her the right, they're not giving her the right cards to play with. She is a beast. She needs to dominate. It doesn't matter who it's with, she needs to dominate. That's not what they're trying to do. That's why everybody's kind of like, it's all predictable because they know who's going to win. But change it around a bit. Give it to Nia Jax, Let her dominate.
Yeah, no, and I see that. And then having her dominate so much and then winning the title however she would in that dominant fashion, and then whoever then would defeat her, then in their own right would be made and in their own right be big, in the roster, not just becoming the champion, but just, with defeating Nia Jax, the undefeatable one, almost like Asuka in NXT right now, being the NXT Women's Champion, which I do think she might actually lose this Saturday, and then it's to take over Brooklyn. But anyways, yeah, I know I see what you're saying with Nia Jackson. I would hope that to be the case moving forward. And Jay, host of Talking WWE, I would agree with you because Nia Jax is his gal. He's a big fan of hers. But for me, Alexa Bliss, keep running the championship. She's been doing very well over on SmackDown Live since she got on the main roster. Big fan of hers, and now on Monday Night Raw being a champion. So, as much as I want Nia to be this dominant self, as much as you're sharing that as well. The same sentiment that Alexa and Nia, who in real life are besties, are friends, amigos, but them, as they say, those that are friends in real life can make for great adversaries in WWE. Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and most recently Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. In those two examples. So if you have Nia Jax against Alexa Bliss, like they should have for SummerSlam here or whenever they would, at that point, it will probably make for one heck of a feud and one heck of a match at whatever pay-per-view it would be building to, and then you have Nia becoming the champion, because I'm sure Alexa would have any problem backstage with doing the deed and we're putting over Nia Jax to become the women's champion. So as much as Nia fans are waiting for that and waiting for her to get her shine on, I'm sure it to be happening sooner rather than later. Whoever knows when that actually to be. Another big thing that happened on Monday Night Raw that I do want to touch upon: Akira Tozawa winning the WWE Cruiserweight Championship from Neville, them having the title match. Titus O'Neil talked to Kurt Angle backstage and had the match that was supposed to be for SummerSlam on Raw. I thought this was just to have Neville, heel tactics, get the win, low blow, or whatever he has to do to technically retain his title, and then Tozawa to have his moment and have a win at SummerSlam. But I guess, as even Stephen A brought up in our big group of 50 individuals in the chat on Twitter during the show, was saying that maybe this decision was made for Tozawa to win the WWE Cruiserweight Championship on Raw tonight and not at SummerSlam, because it might have been even greater of a moment individually for Tozawa and this Titus brand storyline and this and that. It would have been too much overshadowed with everything else that was of its awesomeness going on at SummerSlam, with a stack card, with it being SummerSlam. As great a moment would have been for him individually, the moment for the Cruiserweight division and the championship itself on the show of SummerSlam might have been overshadowed, as he brought up himself, and I agree to a point. So Tozawa winning the championship on Raw, though very surprising to me. I was surprised, for sure. But in a way, maybe the long story, have him, obviously retaining at SummerSlam and going out from there and having his moment being bigger in the long scheme of things here on Raw than what it could have been at SummerSlam.
That in my eyes, it didn't really surprise me. It was predictable, only because ever since 5 Live came out and TJP won the belt, it's been every 5 Live cruiserweight that's won the belt. They have a long run for some odd amount of days, and then they lose it to the next one. Then that one has a some odd amount of days that they keep the belt, and then it goes on to the next one. So it doesn't really surprise me. I'm just hoping that they're gonna have something really big happening soon. Maybe like how we're saying in the past shows about Rey Mysterio coming back. Maybe that's a long shot, but maybe it's a sign that Rey Mysterio will come back just for maybe a limited amount of time. Who knows? But that match goes tonight. It didn't. I wasn't very excited about it.
Well, I know something I wasn't excited for. We had a segment on Monday Night Raw with Big Cass. Luke Gallows, Anderson being part of it in the end, but Big Cass and the Big Show with Enzo Amore on WWE SummerSlam. They're going to have Big Cass facing Big Show one-on-one, and Enzo Amore is going to be up in the shark cage. I know they did that a couple of times for NXT shows, I believe, in the past, I think, with shark cages. So
they did that with
so Authors of Pain, I think, and their manager was in a shark cage. Um, but either way, oh no, Jericho. Jericho was in a shark cage
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
main one. So I was wrong. Yeah, it was actually once in the main roster. Point being is, I'm not really looking forward to this match too much. It's just to get Big Cass over, and then he can move on to greener pastures after beating the veteran big man, the veteran 7 footer, the Big Show. So what are your thoughts for at least for this match and this storyline heading into SummerSlam and everything in
I'm
between?
actually I'm I'm actually I kind of like Big Cass being by himself. I mean, as much as I like the duel, that whole, you know, Big Cass and Enzo storyline that they did, I actually kind of think Enzo was holding him back because he can do it all by himself pretty much. Um, as far as the Big Show is concerned in that match, I think they kind of had to put him in a position against someone because there's not really anyone they can fit him with anymore. Because they have all the big guys going against each other. You got Brock, Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns, and Braun. Who
Mhm.
are you going to match the Big Show with? And so I think they just kind of threw people together. And I had already knew that it was Big Cass that attacked Enzo because it's happened before. The storyline has happened before. So as far as that at SummerSlam, I'm a big face person. I don't like heels all that much.
Hmm.
So I'm hoping Big Show wins, but kind of wanted something different to happen. Maybe maybe somehow they both grab onto the cage or something and pull it down, or I don't know, something totally that nobody would ever think that would happen. It's a long shot, like I said, but
Mhm.
something unbelievable.
Right, yeah, one of those wow moments, at a pay per view, and especially for a match like that, it's kind of would, or at least for me, seem like it would need something like that to be to any degree of what the other matches and that are on the card, let alone from the whole show, let alone the Raw brand side of matches that they're going to have title matches and otherwise. Um, but certainly going to be interesting in that light and to see how this match goes, how long it goes, and on the end, I see Big Cass getting the win. But with Big Show, he doesn't have too many matches left. I think he's retiring after WrestleMania, so have him do this, and then something at Mania. Then I'm off into the sunset from there. Goldust last week, and I don't think I saw him this week on the show, but talk about either becoming a manager or getting a manager, or one of the ways on a SummerSlam. So, where do you think that would be? Or where do you think that might head to when we at SummerSlam with Goldust?
I haven't really followed that storyline all too much, considering I'm a big wrestling fan, but when I work at night, I kind of miss shows off and on.
Right.
I haven't really caught on to that storyline. I think that one in turn is they're gonna put matches together, you know? So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
of course you're gonna take a tag team, you're gonna split them apart. So again, you have R-Truth and you have Goldust. You got two really, good wrestlers, two really good guys. Put them with nobody. I think those are just fillers pretty much for the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Well, but to the point of being fillers, that they're just probably going to throw them on the pre-show. You have a 2 hour pre-show. You need matches to fill up there to put those. So might as well put those quote unquote filler matches there for the pre-show. One in the first hour, as I would do it. Simple math there. One in the first hour, one in the second hour, and then we get to the main show and we have the rest of the card. So have that match. Maybe have what looks like we're going to get Elias Sampson against R-Truth. So have that one there, and Dolph Ziggler, he's not going to be in the show. Becky Lynch isn't going to be in the show. Charlotte might not be in the show. So all the 4 horsewomen, it could have been if Sasha would have lost. It could have been all 4 horsewomen not on the show, which I would have then said here in the program. that maybe WWE's going to have the four horsewomen of MMA and the four horsewomen of WWE at least teasing something at SummerSlam. Backstage segment, this or that, or whatever they do since they're in New York. And have that that'd be a moment or be a situation there for that thing. But Sasha is in a title match. Yes, technically you can still have it happen since it would be only a backstage thing. Then let's say Ronda Rousey getting involved in the Raw Women's Championship match, helping Alexa Bliss to retain. Like I don't see that happening, even though that would help it does for most storylines and most all storylines mankind. But in this situation being different, even though I have heard Ronda is already training, that have some backstage or Twitter interaction. Twitter being as popular as it is, have that be the thing for that situation. As I heard, Cyborg and Becky Lynch going back and forth for a SummerSlam match or a quote unquote SummerSlam match. So maybe just have interaction between the two again, maybe in the pre-show, as much as they might be deserving of main show time. Having something that on the pre-show to get people on for the regular show and just for them in general, and them to kind of have a spotlight. We're talking about having fuller matches and having them on the pre-show. If you have something like the Four Horsemen of MMA, Four Horsewomen of WWE together in one ring, or whatever, and however they would do that, being the highlight of the pre-show, and would be something for WWE to promote. You gotta watch the pre-show. You never know what's gonna happen, this and that, and yada yada, as they did with the live event when AJ Styles won the United States Championship from Kevin Owens in the Garden. So while that still could be the case, even though Sasha Banks is in a title match against Alexa Bliss on the main card, and whatever that is.
Now can we all agree that pull through? If you know what I'm talking about.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Can you say that again?
That Ric Flair needs to pull through.
Oh yeah, 100%. No, my thoughts and prayers are to Mr. Flair, Ric Flair, and his family, Charlotte, of course, and others. I heard about this afternoon, and then I got the update actually from Bleacher Report. Him being out of hospital, out of surgery, but still a very serious situation. That's the last update I got. I don't know if you heard anything more, much more recently than 3 hours ago. But beyond that, and beyond what was said on WWE television, hopefully he does pull through and is okay in the end, because he might not, for most, he is their childhood. My childhood was the 90s and the Attitude Era, but still I have respect for the Ric Flairs, the Hogans of that era, and him still being, 68 years young? He still has plenty of time here on this earth, and definitely I'm pulling for him and for him to pull through, as you said as well. So hopefully that's the case. So woo for Rick, and hopefully everything in the end is okay. Peachy, and he'll be back wheeling dealing, being awesome as he already has been, already is, even this very day. Beyond that, now tomorrow, at least for me, nothing else really to talk about for Monday Night Raw. If there's anything else you want to bring up and share, you're welcome to. If not, you're welcome to promote yourself. And I hope to have you for Thursday. So any last words?
I don't have anything. I won't be on for SmackDown. I will try to be on for Raw and maybe SummerSlam. I'm not sure. But if you see me and I'm on, then I'll be sure to say something.
Oh yeah. You're welcome to be part of the Hangouts now. It seems like I'm able to hear you and everything working out on that end. We're good to have you part of the big party on Thursday night for the prediction episode. But if not, if you're working or other busy things, fantastic. You're obviously always welcome, as you've had in the past, to be in the live chat. And I know you're not shy in giving your opinion on things. I know that from past experience. So thanks for being part of this episode, and I look forward to speaking with you at all in the future. And for everybody else that's watched live, that will be watching archive, thanks for stopping by. If you're watching for the first time, yes, I will be on camera on Thursday, just not for now. And as always, take care.